Now let's see how can we add a new type of agents or turtles called bullets, so the aircraft can shoot some bullets. So to do that, so we are going to the code tab and we are going to add a new breed of turtles or new breed of agents called player bullets, and I'm going to give the singular form of this player bullets as player bullet. Now we created a new breed, and what we have to do is every time when this play proceed is getting executed, so this is getting executed in an infinite loop. So right now it's asking players just to face mouse coordinates. In addition to that, we are going to add another logic specific to players. So that means if the mouse button is down, what we can do is we can hatch a new agent type or new turtle type called player bullets, and I'm going to hatch only one player bullet. So this command hatch, you can think it as creating a child. So here the parent is players, and it's going to create a new child called player bullets, and that's why we call it hatch. Now when you hatch the bullet, we can give some properties. So first thing is we can set the size of the bullet. So we are going to say set size equals 1. So let's see what's going to happen. So I press the play button. Now when I click the mouse button, so it created a very small arrowhead like turtle. So see, whenever I click on the button, it's going to create these arrowheads. So this shape, if we want, we can change it like this. We can say set shape to something like circle. So let's see what happens now. So here it created the circle. But I think the previous shape is much better because it looks like an arrowhead. So instead of circle, I'm going to use default shape. And there's one thing we have to add. So make sure at the beginning of the setup to add a statement called clear all. So if you don't do that, what happens is whenever you press the setup button, so these bullets will not get cleared. But when you have this clear all, so it's beginning with a very clear state of the game. So it will clear everything and then it will recreate all the players and turtles, other turtles as we like. So that's very important to have a clear all statement here. And let's see what happens now when we press the play button. Okay, now it's creating default shapes, but I would like to change the color of it. But for the moment, what I'm going to do is I would like to add some random colors just to talk about that random feature. So this color can be directly specified as a word like color red, or we can just give a number. So number can be somewhere from 0 to 140. But now I'm going to assign random numbers. So because of that, I'm going to say random and I'm going to say 140. That means 0 to 140, any number will be generated randomly, and it will that color will get assigned to these newly hashed player bullets. So let's check it now. So here you can see it's creating bullets in different colors. But these bullets are not moving yet. So how can we do that? So what we have to do is, here in this play procedure, now we have ask players, which is getting executed every time. So like that, we can have another code block called ask player bullets. So what we are going to say is ask player bullets to move forward. So there's a command or a keyword called FD that stands for forward, like a short form. So I can say, okay, forward 1. Every time, whenever there's a bullet, just forward 1 step. So here, this section, ask players, is specific to players. The other section, ask player bullets, is specific to player bullets. It's more like we can define all the rules specific to player bullets here, and we can define all the rules specific to ask players inside this code block. And we can have like duplicate code blocks also. That's also fine. We can just copy and paste ask players here and add something else here. That's also fine. But let's see how this works. Now, whenever I press this button, you can see it's sending a stream of bullets. So, but if I feel that it's too fast, I can reduce the speed by giving only 0.1 steps. So let's try again. Like this. If I click mouse button only once, so that should send only few number of bullets. But I think we can have a much slower bullet for the moment, but we can change it later also. I mean, when we are testing with the game, we can modify these values. So let's check with 0.01. Okay, something like this. But as you can see, all the bullets are trapped in the border. So we should not have something like this, because finally it will end up having so many bullets here. So that's too many turtles, and it's going to impact the memory of this game. So what we can do is, we can define a border here. Whenever bullet touches that border, we should destroy that bullet. So for that, we are going to do some additional stuff here. So that means when we are setting up the game environment, we are going to say ask patches with count neighbors not equal to 8. Let me explain the meaning of this. So this game environment is created out of patches. So in NetLogo, there are several key entities. One thing is turtles, also known as agents, and the second thing is patches. Patches are small squares in this environment. Those are not visible right now, but you can imagine that this environment is created using small squares like a chessboard. But we can have so many squares here. And if we consider a patch in the middle of the screen, it should have it should have 8 neighbors. That means 3 neighbors on top of every square, and 3 neighbors bottom in the bottom of the square, and there are 2 neighbors in both sides. So totally every square is surrounded by 8 squares. You can think about a chessboard, and if you think about any square in the middle, it's actually surrounded by 8 squares. So, but if we take a square in one of the corners, it's not surrounded by 8 squares because it has only neighbors from this side, that I mean the inside of the environment. So like that, any square or any patch which is located in the border will not have 8 neighboring squares. So that's why in the code we are telling okay, ask all the patches, and if they have neighbors not equal to 8, so then what you should do is then set the p color. P color is patch color to blue color. I mean, we can give any color. For this game, I'm going to use blue color. So let's see what's going to happen now. See, when I press the setup button, the whole game environment was surrounded by a blue color border. So now what we can do here is we have this player bullet specific rules. So I'm going to add another condition here. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to say if p color of patch here is blue, then die. So when a bullet is moving through the environment, we can capture the patches in a given location. So that means when the bullet is in the middle of the screen, the patch color is black. But when the bullet is in the border, the patch color here is blue. So like that, we are capturing the patch color. And if that patch color is blue, the bullet should die. So let's try it. See? So the bullets are no longer appearing in the border.